Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Hello and bonjour. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
That's going to be a fun one to try and master when we do this remotely. I think.
I think we got it. I think we got it.
I'm your host, Freddie Rivas, and who are you, sir?
And the producer, Matt Duncan. Hi, how's everyone doing? Hello, just talk to me. Talk to me through the podcast app. I want to hear you.
I think people must.
Yeah.
Because when I'm walking around listening to podcasts, sometimes someone will say something, and I'll be like, I'll say something out loud. I'll be like, guess what? I disagree.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Matt, I got married in May.
You did?
You're about to get married.
That's right, man. This Saturday. Crazy.
We know Danny Green is confirmed.
He's confirmed. Yeah. He's bringing a generator.
That's really exciting. And it's exciting that he's going to, he'll make his way up. And apparently he doesn't need accommodation or anything. He's just he has some like flotation thing on the lake.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Is that what he's going to do? He's just going to, he's going to have like a pontoon boat.
I think so.
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. But, but there also might be a bit of a chance that FVV will show.
Oh, I thought maybe a Laker or two might come too, his new teammates. Rondo or
yeah, Rondo's coming to your wedding for sure. No, but I was thinking Fred because he has a new Roots kind of like marketing thing going down. So
nice. He's gonna want to show that off.
He's gonna test at a Muskoka chair or two, I think. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we got a pretty fun episode today. Right?
Yeah,
we give Paul Beer, tallest man in the world.
Yeah.
And we talk about Marc Gasol and his partying.
Yeah.
We also talk about the worst team in the NBA, or who we think is going to be
projected worst teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we call André de Pape. Yeah. I said André de Pape.
You did.
Because I messed it up because I'm a dummy.
It's all right.
It's André de Pape. And he made up a fun game where we're trying to kind of create marketing items for other teams. And we also chat about the potential best sophomore next year, which is a fun little thing I like to keep track of. Mm-hmm. And deposit what an offense might look like without Kawhi.
Yeah, geez.
So it's a pretty sweet time.
Yeah. Little quickish questions in there, and Bob's your uncle.
And I guess now's a good time to let folks know that we will be taking a little bit of a break because somebody's getting married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to get married, and then we're doing a little mini honeymoon, so we're going to be gone for that.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back, and
baby.
We'll be ready to go with, I'll get a new ring. Raptors will be, probably getting sized up for theirs. You've got yours already. So it's just a heavy summer of rings for all of us.
Oh, it's going to be sick. Hopefully I have a new modem and router by that point. Honestly, anything could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if people want to, before the toques start popping off and our Patreon is overloaded, you know what I mean? With cash. Mm-hmm. If people want to follow us, help us, how are they going to do that?
Big thing is subscriptions. If you could subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcatcher, whether that be iTunes or Stitcher or Player FM or Spotify, even YouTube. I guess some people like to do the dirty there, but YouTube. iTunes is the big one. If you could even just write us a review or just click the star rating and give us that too, that'd be great. We'll move on up. Lil Post will see us coming, and then we'll fight in an alley. That's essentially where we're trying to get to, right?
Yeah, I think our long-term goal is to fight the producers and everyone involved with the Low Post in an alley.
Yeah.
Then I think just to really freak them out, I'll turn back to you and then I'll say, remember when you said do the dirty about YouTube? And then my guess is you'll just go berserk. Right?
Yeah. That's what
you'll just start taking guys out.
Yeah, that's my cue.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing this episode, and we appreciate everyone who listens to this podcast so much.
Yeah,
we're champions. You're all champions.
We're all champions.
It's going to be a wonderful year. We're actually going to be back right before the season kicks off. So enjoy this last little bit of the summer. I guess it's not the summer anymore.
Well, yeah, it's like fall on Saturday. So enjoy it. We'll be back the first week of October, and we might have a couple more off-season spots, and then we'll start up season 7, the 2019-20 NBA season. It's going to be great.
Heck yeah, baby boy. I'll take it. And for anyone who's listening to the pod, I'll take a pic of Matt and me on his wedding day.
Oh yeah.
And we'll post it to the gram.
Yeah.
It's just so you can see we're not like faking this whole marriage thing.
Yeah, for sure.
People might be concerned.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like how many times are we going to use this excuse that we're both getting married?
Yeah, totally. I think once a year.
Once a year, yeah.
Once a year, every year. Cool.
All right, guys.
Well, I guess let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy the first conversation with Paul Beer.
Bobby Webster to sort of shawarma, your meal is ready.
Okay, I am here with the tallest man in the world, I think. Paul Beer, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Oh yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I recently killed the other tallest man in the world. Apparently, Taco Fall, isn't he one of the tallest people in the world? Am I right about that?
I think he's got to be close. Taco Fall is
like
he
7'7" or 7'8".
7'7", yeah. I was listening to a podcast recently. They were referring to him as the new George Mirasan, which is it's both so mean and also kind of like, well, people didn't dislike George Mirasan.
No, they didn't. George Mirasan wasn't he in a movie with?
Yeah, he's in.
Isn't he in My Giant?
He's with My Giant, Billy Crystal. Yeah, so him and Billy Crystal, man, they rocked it. It's
maybe Taco Fall can be in a movie with like Seth Rogen. I know Seth Rogen's too tall, but anyway,
he'll figure it out. Yeah. Like Taco Fall. Okay, I'm looking at. Oh man, every time I do this on the internet, it's always like gives me the height in meters, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
What's 2.31? Okay, what is that? It's tall. I know it's tall. But 2.31 meters? Give me a break.
List of tallest people. Hold on. Is Sultan Kosin? Is that the? Anyway, whatever.
I don't know, but I did also hear that 41%. I think this is also from the Jump. Of 7-footers in the U.S. are in the NBA.
Can't teach tall. I think I said that.
Not really.
Can't teach tall.
That's also that rings a bit sad to me. As well. Okay.
It does.
But let's talk some Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
I know Matt loves a hard partier. Paul, I don't know if you're a hard partier, but I feel like it's good we started with Taco Fall because it's like from one 7-footer,
right.
Who's a bit of a gimmick to one that is absolutely not a gimmick and is just a hardcore winner. Marc Gasol. It's Spain won FIBA, and we have more evidence of how hard Marc can party.
Yeah. I'm looking at Twitter right now, and yesterday, did you see what he posted? He posted, "Here we go again." Gold medal emoji, trophy emoji, crying emoji, and then all in caps, beer poppy, and then a and then a 30-second video of Freddie Mercury.
Wow.
He really, that Freddie Mercury thing, he really likes to go back to that. Like,
the Queen's very popular in Europe. Very popular.
Isn't he the only NBA player other than Lamar Odom to win a championship and FIBA in the same year?
He is, yeah.
That's
I mean,
weird.
Matt, that's actually a pretty fun reach too to bust out Lamar Odom. I would have never thought that, but yeah, of course, Lamar Odom during the Lakers days was probably on a Team USA.
Yeah, he was.
Or I guess it was a FIBA specifically.
It was. Yeah, it was a World Cup. Yeah. It doesn't that seem nuts? Like, shouldn't there have been other?
Yeah, how can there not be others?
I think it has. It's maybe one of those combinations of if you're winning an NBA championship, odds are you're probably not even playing in FIBA.
Yeah.
But I guess there are some international players who do it, but FIBA is probably only just 3 or 4 teams that ever win FIBA.
Right.
It's generally going to be the States, or maybe you got Argentina or Spain or some. Yeah. But yeah, I just clicked on an article that said Marc Gasol chugs again.
Crazy.
Look, he's a bon vivant. He lives life to the fullest. I was thinking that he would have learned. I mean, I don't know how he was, what his recovery was like after the Raptors parade, because I know that I have. After the age of 30, I've gotten the fear of God every once in a while. If you do overindulge, if you do have a few more beverages than you should.
I do like hearing a hangover described as the fear of God. Like, you definitely have embraced your age when you're like, I was hungover last Saturday, and let me tell you, I experienced the devil's eyebrow. I experienced.
You looked into the
fear of God.
The abyss. Yeah, you're like, and he's 34.
He's 34.
Mark. And so he was hammered at 4 p.m. on the parade day, and it was hot. And so I have to imagine that next day was not ideal. So again, maybe I would have thought that he would have, maybe taken his foot off the gas a little bit, but
I think we're both kind of making a big mistake here, and that's underestimating Marc Gasol and assuming he lives by like non-André the Giant rules.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading some of his stats. So he's 34. In this tournament, he averaged 14.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 4 assists. And Rubio was the MVP, which kind of a nice one for Rubio. But party jokes aside, are you as excited as I am about that he's kind of looking like any talks of him being like done are clearly premature?
Absolutely. This is really exciting, and I wonder how much one bolstered the other. Do you know what I mean? Like coming off of the high of the finals, and then just going into that. Yeah, no, this is great. I know there was some question, when he exercised his player option, there was a little bit of like, well, yes, of course he would do that because
right,
$25 million or whatever it is. But no, I'm feeling great about it.
Yeah, it's funny because like thinking about him, signing his extension now is under such a different context than it was at the time. I mean, I remember saying a bunch of times on the podcast just that, if you think about how valuable he is to a team, 25 in 1 year, like he probably could have got, 30, 35, 40 or something over the course of 3 years.
Right.
And now is kind of risking that this might indeed be his, could be his retiring year, if there's a bad injury or something.
Yeah.
But he definitely is kind of doing his own version of betting on himself. And but yeah, Marcus Gasol, party animal champion, right?
I'm actually watching the chugging video right now. This
is this a new chugging video?
This is in Madrid.
Okay.
And it's a much smaller vessel that he's chugging out of. It looks like your standard beer can.
Right. So he saved the rosé bottles for Toronto.
Yeah. So maybe he did get a taste of the fear of God.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
Excuse me, Mark. Have you ever sipped on our newest wine? It's called Taste of the Fear of God. We understand it's a pretty convoluted concept, but we think the fear of God.
Yeah, no, he's enjoying a reasonable can of Estrella. Is that the name of that Spanish beer? Estrella.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds like it. Yeah. Okay. Just a little quick hitter here before we move on to some NBA stuff. But having kind of watched Gasol play with Ibaka this year, and having nothing to do but watch highlights. He and Ibaka, I know that they've played together in Spain, but I guess it kind of disconnected from my head that they played together in that super, super meaningful, amazing 2012 game, the finals game against Team USA.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I understand Mark was quite a bit younger, but he's backing down LeBron. Mm-hmm. He is like, he's just bullying everyone. It's crazy because I think the States decided to go small. And Tyson Chandler couldn't really guard Pau or Mark. And anyways, yeah, when Pau goes to the bench, Ibaka and Gasol are on the court together, and Spain actually goes on a run. And it's like, Kobe, KD, LeBron. He's really a remarkably kind of like just like special type of winning player, I think.
Right. No, absolutely. And yeah, I think that that sort of connection, as well as the sort of veteran like wiliness, is working really well for both of those guys.
I know, right? And I seeing those two play together, I'm like, oh man, we got to keep these guys together. Sure. They got to like kind of just like age out of the league together.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's too much of like good feelings and sympathy, or good feels in general, kind of coming from my end. But yeah, let's move to some NBA stuff here. I mean, since we won the championship, it's not a sad conversation because we're not in the mix for this awful award. But I thought it'd be a fun kind of thought exercise to see if we can explore who's going to have the worst record in the NBA next year. So yeah, maybe I'll just throw to you first, or I mean, I can start if you like. But who do you think? Which out of the 30 teams is going to have the worst record in the NBA next year? If it helps, I can read off the bottom kind of records last year.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
I have some thoughts, but it would be good to hear a refresher.
So I'm just going to name the 5 teams that were under 30 wins. So you got the Hawks, 29 wins. Then there's a big drop to the Bulls.
The Bulls were
have 22 wins.
Oh my God.
And then you got a tie from Cleveland and Phoenix, who both finished with 19 wins. And New York, who won it all by only winning 17 games last year.
Yikes.
So yeah, with that said, who do you think it's going to be?
Okay, well, I don't think it's going to be the Knicks.
Okay.
I think that the Knicks are going to benefit from the Mississauga groundswell that's just in the air these days with RJ Barrett.
Yeah, that's a big groundswell.
Yeah, I mean in New York as well with Bianca. So it's not going to be them. I don't think it's going to be the Suns. I think that I hope I'm not stepping on toes here by saying who I don't think it's going to be.
No, you're actually. I'm wondering if it's one of those things where we're going to end up in the same spot, because I'm with you on both accounts so far. Although the only thing I'll say is, like, never underestimate certain franchises' ineptitude.
Right.
And New York particularly, like, if RJ is the first rookie who's not really that good to demand a trade, I wouldn't be surprised. You know,
like if he's just average and he's like, I need to be out of here.
Yeah, totally. Like with the current climate of the NBA, we might have our very first guy
rookie by mid-season just pulling the ripcord. You know, like, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play for you guys anymore. I'm done. Yeah.
Or like, maybe James Dolan does, like, you know, he brings his kazoo down and
he does a private concert for like a jam session for him with his harmonica or whatever. Anyway, that.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't underestimate the ability of the Knicks. So I think the Suns. I don't think it's going to be the Suns. I'm going to say that it is going to be the Charlotte Hornets. Are going to be the worst team to have the worst record in the NBA. They had Kemba.
It's not my pick, but, you know, where are you coming from? I mean, you don't have to justify this too much because they are starting Terry Rozier.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do think, you know, you got a pretty good start on this one. Although I must say I'm a bit embarrassed because I think, you know, when all the free agency happens when the free agency period happened this year, it was so fast. Yeah. And my kind of snapshot judgment is like, oh yeah, Charlotte's still fine. And then as the summers went along, I'm like, wait a second. No, they're not.
Right.
But sorry, I'm stealing.
No, I mean, they had Kemba. Kemba's gone. They had Jeremy Lamb. Jeremy Lamb is gone. They are starting Terry, as mentioned. I mean, who else do they have? They've got Malik Monk, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and like that.
Have you said Bridges? Bridges is good.
Oh yeah, Miles Bridges. Yeah.
Batum,
Dwayne Bacon, and they have
45 Zeller brothers.
And don't they have Bismack Biyombo as well? Isn't Bismack Biyombo on that team?
I think they do have Biz. I think he made a full circle, and I really hope that he's getting paid $18 million a year by them, which we're the ones who drove that up.
Right.
That would be a sweet bit of justice to a place that's really only suffered. So they don't really need justice, I don't think. But
yeah, so that's my pick. Either that or the Cavs. It all depends on with the Cavs if Kevin Love can play more than like whatever he played last season. He played like 22 games or something like that last season. If he can play more than that, and depending on how that the rookie what's his name, Garland, Darius Garland. And we have Selden, Dwayne Selden. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I mean they could be like if I don't know, Tristan Thompson.
Oh, I know you love Tristan Thompson.
I do. He's a Toronto guy. He's also someone who seems to really enjoy life. He's
sure.
I mean, he's got a lot of off-court distractions, but maybe he's just focus. Just put it all on the court. But yeah, so the Hornets are my pick.
Yep. I can't mess around with that pick. I'm starting to think that, you know, maybe the bottom will be quite numerous this year because. So I'm going to just like briefly touch on three teams that you didn't even touch on. So I was flirting with the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they've done a really good job of retooling, but I also think they're kind of like honest with themselves in that, you know, they have Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and, you know, like Bruno and I think they're like, they don't want to be very good. And I think the West is unbelievably stacked. So I could just see that team, you know, at some point in the year having like 18 losses in a row with JV like banging down double doubles. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's just a bit, it's really bereft of like talent. And I think, the most promising talent on the team seems like it's like a couple years away from developing.
Is that Morant? Is that you're talking about? That's the point guard, right? So I'm just looking at Memphis here. No, I think you're right that they could. They're positioned where they could like intentionally.
That's my runner-up. But my number one pick, I think I got confused there for a sec because the other team I was floating with was the Cavaliers.
Yes.
Mostly because I think the Cavaliers are very similar to the team I think is going to have the worst record in that they have one player who's clearly very good. Mm-hmm. And I think the majority of the season is based around when and how they're going to trade them.
Right.
And that's Kevin Love with the Cavaliers. But in my choice, it is, I've stalled this long enough, haven't I? Is the Washington Wizards.
Yes.
I think they have a truly dreadful team. Like it is one of those scenarios where you're looking at a guy like Thomas Bryant, their center, and being like, honestly, nice.
That guy might be the best guy on the court.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, they have Beal, who's fantastic, but then it's like Bertans, Isaac Bonga, Troy Brown Jr., Sam Decker, Rui Hachimura, which is he's probably going to be fantastic, but again, he's a rookie. Jan Mahimi, Jamario Jones, who I don't even know. Harrison Matthews, who I don't even know. CJ Miles, love the guy, but yeah. And again, I think Washington wants to be bad, so that's kind of like my factor as well.
So what's the current situation with John Wall? Because aren't they incentivized if like John Wall never plays again? Don't they get some sort of? I'm not into the whole contract.
No, you're
CBA
you're
stuff.
actually. I mean, if you're not into contracts, you definitely made a keen observation because it should. It's funny what the type of things we watch out for in the NBA, but I only really started hearing about this sort of idea with Bosch's blood clot.
Yes.
Where it was kind of like, wait a second, people are kind of accusing Miami of saying like, we don't want you back, and trying to get out from that money after LeBron left. Mm-hmm. But then also with Bosch, it did seem consistent with the fact that no other team, like just insurance companies, were like, absolutely not. We can't do this. But I think with Wall, if he wants to come back, I think they have to try and help him come back because he tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken, and then when he was already injured, there was the bathtub incident where he tore his Achilles.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that double whammy, but that also means he's going to miss the calendar year next year. So that's why I'm expecting Washington to just, who knows? Maybe it's a John Wall trade for Chris Paul. And Chris Paul and Bradley Beal are tearing up the East. But I think probably not.
I think it's something if John Wall doesn't play a certain number of games, they can get like 80% of his salary back via insurance.
That would make sense.
So as you said, they're sort of incentivized to be like, don't come back.
Okay, well, Paul, I think that's almost it for us. But you did say that you wanted to touch on the WNBA. You said you had some takes on their scheduling.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. So did you see any of that game on Sunday? The was it Chicago and Vegas?
Yeah, it was the Sky against I forget Angels or
yes.
Aces.
Angels?
Sorry.
Aces. It wouldn't be the Angels. That's
yeah, not the Angels. We're the Las Vegas Angels. The fear of God.
But what I'm saying is that they don't put these games on like that had like I only saw the final shot, like the final incredible steal and then buzzer beater.
Oh, it's amazing.
And as far as I know, like that was on like ESPN2 or something in the States. Now there may have been a a football game on the main ESPN or something like that.
Right.
But what I looked it up, and what was on ABC at the time was back-to-back clip shows about college football. It was like the 100 greatest whatever, 100 greatest moments in college football, followed by the 100 greatest players in college, something like that. I mean, and it's like, just put it on ABC, like put that on the main on the main network. You know, like I'm not a programmer. I'm not a studio or network executive, but it just seems like, you know, put that out there as sort of counter programming. I mean, I have no idea what the actual ratings were for that, but I do know that when my daughter was a little bit younger, we watched.
She's dunking at a young age.
Yeah, she's extremely tall. My daughter, as the tallest man in the world, I have a very tall daughter, and we watched some WNBA games, and she loved it, but I always found it kind of hard to find them. Anyway, that's all. That's my.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I thought you were actually going to mention that one of their games. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. I went down a deep dive and was looking for like random records, because that's what I enjoy doing on YouTube. Hello, listeners. I'm weird. There's a girl named Liz Cambridge, fantastic player, and she owns a record for most points in a game.
Oh yeah.
And you know, so I'm watching this, like it's great highlights. So, like she's just like tearing it up and people going crazy. And then the game ends and the announcer's like, Liz Cambridge like holds a new WNBA and world record for, you know, like points in a game from a single player and all that, and she did it on Kids Day. And they pan and the audience is like all kids. which is fine. But, you know, that's not something I factored in my head, that like this girl's like ruthlessly going off and it's just like Kids Day.
It's just, yeah, it's like 8-year-olds who are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my scheduling take. But yeah, Paul, I think that's it for our time. Thanks for doing the show, man.
Oh, thanks. It was a lot of fun. And I don't know if you're gonna.
Are you doing questions, Fred?
What's that?
Are you doing the quickest questions, or?
You better believe I am. Paul, stick around for a sec.
Oh, sure.
I totally forgot about the quickish questions. And listen, why don't you tell me something while I find them?
All right.
Sure. I don't know if this is going to step on quickish questions, but I look forward to raising a glass of Chincoro with you guys. Is that the name of the Michael Jordan tequila?
Oh, that's right. And Jeannie Buss. Isn't it Jeannie Buss too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's Michael Jordan, Jeannie Buss, one of the owners of the Milwaukee Bucks and one of the owners of the Celtics.
And then isn't it like also like Jared Leto or something?
I'm looking at a picture of the 5 of them, and I do not see Jared Leto.
Wait, are you telling me Jared Leto as the Joker is not involved in this tequila scheme?
As the Joker?
I'm just trying to get a sense of this. Okay. I'm ready.
I mean, if that's not an intro for quickest questions, I don't know what is.
Quickish Questions.
All right.
Okay.
Well, is everyone
that sound effect made it all the way through?
I thought that once you heard that, everyone just hung up.
That sound effect. On my end, that sounded that the quickish questions sting sounded like it was dying a slow death.
Oh.
It sounded like a Brian Wilson Beach Boys recording from my end. It was just pristine.
Nice.
Oh wow. Okay. Great. Well,
right.
Paul, these are going to be just for you because I got to save some for André. But yeah, tell me when you're ready. The only rule is you got to answer these questions as quick as you can.
Sure.
No phoning a friend or anything like that. You really got to give me the goods.
Ready.
Okay. you think? Oh yeah, I let the beat hang for a sec there. Do you think Michael Jordan's tequila is good?
If there's one thing Michael Jeffrey Jordan knows, it's how to distill and age agave. So yes.
Ooh, okay. Did Mark party harder for the NBA championship or the FIBA championship?
We have video footage. We have video evidence. It is for Toronto for the NBA championship.
Hell yes. If you could add Anthony Davis or Zion Williams to the Raptors for the next 10 years, who would you add?
I'm going with Zion. I'm going with Zion. He's younger. He's just a beast down there. And then when RJ Barrett returns home to Toronto, then it'll be a Duke reunion for the two of them.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. A couple more. What do you think of the NBA's anti-tampering proposals?
I think
quickish. So you gotta.
It's not going to work at all. Is that quick enough?
That's great. Yeah, you just got straight to the point.
It'll make it worse.
It will. It certainly will. And here's one I'm going to let you both answer. But first it goes to Paul. Will Matt puke at the altar?
I didn't, so I think he's fine. I think he's good.
Okay. And let me jump over to you, Matt. Will you puke at the altar?
Yeah, it's going to be like a full stand by me type of situation. I'm going to just blueberry pie and everyone's going to start puking and that's what the wedding will be known for.
Great. So it won't be like a Chernobyl style puking?
Yeah, no. Oh, God. It's been a while since we got a Chernobyl reference in. I'm glad we did.
I know. That's what I saw the opening and I was like, here I go. Cool. Well, Paul, that's it for us.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Now.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, do you have anything going on that the listeners should know about? We'll plug all your social media and stuff. But where can people find you? Where can people help Paul Beer out?
You can help me out on Twitter. It's Paul Daniel Beer on Twitter, and I've just started a podcast of my own called Talking Terry, the Terrence Malick podcast, where I talk about the films of Terrence Malick.
Oh wow, I gotta listen to that for sure.
Yes, so far it's just me, the last episode I was giving initial reactions to the new movie that just premiered at TIFF. So there's a lot of references to wheat, a lot of whispered voiceover.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's on Apple Podcast and subscribe.
Cool, man.
Paul, I wouldn't expect anything less. A happy Terrence Malick to you, sir.
and a Terrence Malick to you. And hey, and Matt, congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man.
Get that garbage out of
here! I am here with one of the coolest dudes I know. He, I think he's, yeah, that's right. I'll say it. You know what I mean?
High praise.
He's been back in Toronto for, I think maybe just over a year. I'm not exactly sure, but wherever you are, give him a very warm welcome by yourself at home for André de Pape.
Wow. What an introduction.
I mean, people know me for my intros.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, yeah, I've been working my way up to being the coolest guy you know, and I'm here. I'm at the top of the mountain.
And how about the really cool detail about potentially how long you've been back in Toronto? Like, that's cool, right? That's a good intro.
Yeah. It's incorrect. I've only been back for 10 months, but it's okay. I'm here. I'm still here.
Ooh,
pretty close, but
I
no
wasn't
cigar.
that far off, though.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
What did I say?
You said a little over a year.
Just over a year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
try.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's the end of summer, and that's sad because it gets cold, but it gets exciting because basketball's almost back. So it's good.
Yeah, we're almost there, and I think like it's kind of, I know people always say that the NBA is a 12 months of the year sport now. But I think this year has been a little bit of a rebuttal of that. Like, I think we've genuinely had some kind of like a quiet season, I'll say.
Yeah, I think if they would have had a bigger contingent in the World Cup, like bigger name players, maybe it would have carried the momentum. But yeah, definitely like August and September were pretty quiet.
Let's get right to some stuff here. So I wanted to hit you with a Raptors offensive question. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the podcast to answer questions, so let's dive in.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just kind of say it flat out. What do you think the best version of the Raptors offense without Kawhi Leonard is going to be? And I guess in that, keep in mind that there's obviously no Jonas, and a lot of that, I guess, like 17-4 or whatever it was, 22-4, the record without Kawhi, was also with a bit of a different team at times too. We had DeLon in there, CJ. So this is with Gasol and Norm and kind of the new Raptors.
Yeah.
New but still the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think coming off the championship that we won, the Toronto Raptors championship, it's pretty exciting to think what the collection of players can do even without Kawhi. I mean, obviously, top 5 player in the league, was hugely instrumental. And it's, I guess for the most part, people have really been looking at Pascal as like the guy that's going to be carrying the load. But I know you guys already dove into it earlier on the pod, but man, Marc Gasol, I think he is really the guy that, especially on offense, I think is going to be the biggest difference year over year. I think he was kind of playing the like good teammate and blending in with an already very, very good team last year. But I think especially offensively, we are going to need someone like Marc to really anchor, I guess, the starting lineup at the very least. And I think he's got all the pieces to do it. I think kind of having him be your high post playmaker, to ultimately be the instigator of the offense, the person that makes the decisions and finds the right guy. I think he's good. I think he's going to have all the tools necessary. He'll have someone like Kyle Lowry, who's an amazing shooter, but can also be another playmaker. And then he'll have the dynamic Pascal Siakam transition, kind of do it all, wing big. And then he's got, Fred and Ibaka and OG, who are all good shooters as well. So I think it's really going to be like Marc's going to be the hub of the wheel. And I'm excited to kind of see how that works out.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you, except, as much as I feel like Marc is like so super capable of kind of like stepping into those shoes and, being kind of like the offensive and defensive glue in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, the reason I brought up this question is because, so much of the year, like for the first little while, we had that kind of like, people would call it like Kawhi-so offense.
Right.
And it was kind of like him operating in kind of that deep mid-range, those like long 18-footers area, and he did a ton of that in the playoffs. Like he torched Philly that way,
right?
And it's pretty undeniable what a guy can score from there like that. But I think for when Marc came, it kind of meant that Marc couldn't occupy that space on offense,
right?
So Nurse opted to have Mark on the 3-point line and kind of like, really relegated what he can do offensively. Although, Mark kind of took it on the chin and it was better for the team. And obviously Kawhi is better than Mark. But then that brings me to this year. With Pascal, he really does a lot of kind of like shaking and baking and posting up. And I'm not exactly sure what he's going to look like as a ball handler. Like, does he operate in the pick and roll? His thing isn't really taking long twos. So I don't know if sorry, go ahead. Isn't
he kind of this like sneaky good long two guy, or at least out of the like that's kind of his post game a little bit. Is obviously he's got the masterful, he's got the spin move that's like out of control. But I want to say he can kind of back up and then do a little fade. Maybe I'm just imagining him as Dirk Nowitzki. Like I'm just picturing like Pascal doing these one-legged fadeaways.
Oh, dude, you got to imagine. I've been watching him at Rico Hines. And like watching him and Boucher take on like James Harden. I'm like, here we go, repeat.
This is it. So obviously I think he's kind of like he's your poor man's Giannis. Like out in transition, he'll totally get ahead of defenders and just cause all kinds of trouble that way. So I think naturally he's going to get like at least 10 points a game just through transition offense, and then he'll get another 6 points just on corner 3-pointers, and then so I think he'll pretty easily get to that like 16 to 18 points, and then it's really just figuring out, okay, how does he, can he be a guy that like you say can kind of shake and bake and do all these tricks offensively to add a bit more.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I think you're actually totally right, and he actually kind of sneakily is a long two guy. Who shot more efficiently from the three in the regular season, and then his three kind of tailed off in the playoffs, which is fine. He's still a young guy. But the point I was kind of like, or I think what's confusing me is that it seems like Mark, likes to operate in the kind of like the long two area.
Yeah.
Kyle likes to operate in the pick and roll area. Serge likes to operate in the long two area. And I think you're right. I think Pascal also likes to operate there. So then that kind of makes me think like, all right, well what's going to give here? Because I don't think we're going to have like three vets just taking long twos. And, Serge is kind of like a scorer. It's not someone you run an offense through. But, I guess I'm, is it going to be a mixture of kind of like that, like San Antonio Spurs joy of basketball, like tons of movement and cutting and that kind of stuff, and two-man games? Or are we going to like, I guess I'm curious if anyone is like Kawhi where we can kind of just dump the ball to him, or it's going to be built as a more fluid thing.
Yeah, it's a great question, right? Like, we definitely, well, I mean, I was going to say we don't have a bailout option, which is true that we don't have somebody like as good as Kawhi as a bailout option. Mm-hmm. But Kyle Lowry has been known to bail us out once in a while, and Marc Gasol's generally smart enough to do that. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it kind of, in theory, we have three offensive players that can potentially be very diverse in their ways of scoring, and very potentially complementary in Kyle, Gasol, and Siakam. I kind of see those three guys as if they're on if they're working and they're doing well, then we're going to be a really, really good offensive team. If they start falling apart, then I think the whole thing kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I don't think people keep referring to like this like bottom out potential with the Raptors. I still don't see it, but I'm also hyper aware that I love the Raptors too much to not be biased. Yeah. And I think I it's not so long ago that I told myself that Andrea Bargnani was the next Dirk. And that was a 7-year period. I'm walking around in bars, talking to friends, talking about Andrea Bargnani. So, you know what I mean? I'll make sure to keep myself in check.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is, back in like 2015, 2016, like we were winning like 50 games, and that team had significant minutes played by DeMar Carroll and James Johnson. So, I don't think the bottom out potential when you have Siakam, Gasol, Van Vliet, Lowry, like we've got a team full of very, very good NBA players. I don't think it's gonna bottom out. I would be shocked. I'd truly be shocked.
It's the Eastern Conference too, right? Because as much as people are like, oh, the Raptors are going to bottom out, my response to them is usually name 5 players from the Miami Heat. If they can, then I'm like, all right, you can pass. I'm the troll, and you can pass the bridge. Yeah. But most people can name like 2 or 3, and I'm like, yeah. So people think the Heat are going to be in like 7th place. So don't worry about the Raptors.
Exactly, right? Because it's kind of like what's easier, making the playoffs or what's harder, making the playoffs or being worse than the Bulls, Cavaliers, Knicks, Wizards, Hawks, or Hornets. Like it's actually, I think, easier to make the playoffs than it is to miss them.
And the worst part is all those teams that are like, oh, we're going to be bad for many years. So it's not like oh, well, we'll get rid of all our big contracts and then we'll bottom out. It's like, well, good luck. These teams are terrible. Okay. So I had thrown you the question of, I like to do pick a best sophomore for next year. I think maybe this is not as much of a conversation as I was hoping it would be, and you also have a fun little games. So maybe just tell me who you're thinking for sophomore, and I'll tell you who I'm thinking, and then we can play your fun game.
Okay. So I think sophomore wise, it feels like cheating to go with like a Doncic or a Trey.
I know, right?
So that makes me want to dig in a bit more, and I think ultimately, I think this guy had a really great rookie season, but people kind of didn't care too much about it. But I think DeAndre Ayton, I think he's going to have a monster year because he was pretty good in year one, and that's very rare for big men to have good rookie seasons. And so I think that's just a good omen that he's fairly NBA ready, and that having 1 year under his belt and getting ready to do a second one. So that's where I would go. I would go DeAndre Ayton. I think he's going to have a big one.
Yeah, I'm in the same place as you, and I think that just so I'm not an insane weird hater who gets stuck on my own stubborn opinions. Just for the record, I do think it's going to be Doncic.
Yeah, sure.
But I kind of I'm having similar feelings about DeAndre Ayton, but I also think that that Phoenix stink is still there. Yeah. So people are gonna blow by Booker and then score on Ayton, and then you're gonna have half the league saying see, he'll never be a good defensive big man.
Right.
But I'm kind of thinking Bagley is gonna have a huge year. It seems like a lot of NBA people are really high on him, and on top of that, it seems like Sacramento at the very least is not gonna suck.
Yeah. It seems like also with Marvin Bagley. Maybe I just didn't know enough about him, but it seems like he's a bit more of a almost like a Kevin Durant type big guy. I thought of him as a power forward, but he's this really dynamic scorer, and obviously Durant's high praise, but I didn't realize just how much of a really good scorer he is. So yeah, I like that one too.
Okay, let's use the rest of this time here before we go to some quickish questions to play your game, which is actually kind of a really fun thing to highlight. So yeah, I'll let you take it away. What inspired this game?
Yeah, so day job for me is a marketer, and so I'm always fascinated by brands and marketing activity and different things to connect with the consumers, the fans, and so saw the Raptors did this really cool apparel move where they made a Raptors branded Nike hijab, which was just such a on point, very very much in keeping with I think the type of organization the Raptors are, the type of brand they want to build, and I was just like, what a great thing for your fan base and thing to put your brand on. So then it got me thinking, well, there's 29 other teams. What are these teams thinking of? How are they going to innovate in the world of branding? And so I started to think of different items and things that these teams could bring their well-known brands to and connect a little closer with their fan base.
I love this. So yeah, I guess as soon as you kind of dropped this game on me, I think none of my ideas are practical or good, but I do feel like I have some good ideas.
Awesome.
And the only other thing I want to say is, can Matt also play? Because I feel like Matt.
I hope so. Yeah.
He's very gadget friendly. And he's got some ideas. I know he does.
This is good. So I've got a list, but how about you guys kick off the game and we'll see where your head's at.
Okay. I'll start with the Washington Wizards. First of all, Harry Potter is a big deal.
Okay.
Second of all, you don't see wands every day.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what if there was a practical, type of wand? Maybe it's actually a flashlight.
Yeah.
Or a pen.
Oh.
Anyways, wands, you gotta love them. Write Washington Wizards on the side, or maybe even WW. I think that's
great.
something.
This is great. I love it. Yeah, and you can even, if you're really smart, you go, when we have the alternate jersey day, you do alternate jersey day, and they're all wearing Gryffindor jerseys, just Wizards.
Oh, I love that.
What's up?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, if you're really smart, you could also make the wand a whistle.
That's pretty good too.
That'd work.
That's pretty good. Matt, what's your idea?
Matt.
Oh, wow. What's my idea? Well, the first thing that came to mind, I'm thinking a team that needs, to embrace the fans a little more now that they're going to be in this new, whole level of stardom are the LA Clippers. Okay. And I'm thinking, I'm always a fan of the kind of gadgets where, it's like a Swiss Army knife kind of thing. So it gives them a lot of freedom to do what. But yeah, this thing's going to have some nail clippers in it, obviously. Okay. And I want that to be a thing at the game. If people are going to be cutting their nails at the game, they can put them in those plastic tubes and use them for the shakers to psych out people taking free throws. So it's kind of it's a bit of a mix, but essentially I want them to cultivate. I want that billionaire Ballmer to cultivate his own kind of Swiss Army knife, but focus it on the Clippers. The Clippers a little bit, but a flashlight would be good too, just like on the wand.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw a flashlight in the whistle, right?
That's great. Could have a small comb on there.
Yeah.
To comb your eyebrows.
You better believe there'll be a nail file.
Andre, is it your turn, or do you want to see what else we have?
Yeah. So I've got a list. So I'm gonna, I've got the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
So known really primarily through their iconic player of Dirk Nowitzki. Yep. I don't know if you guys know it, but in the next week or so, they're kicking off Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah.
So big German celebration of beer and other things.
Bratwurst.
There's a pretty iconic piece of clothing, the lederhosen, that I think the Dallas Mavericks could do a nice royal blue lederhosen and really embrace and celebrate the heritage of their iconic player, Dirk Nowitzki. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I have more. Can I jump in with another one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do another one.
The Orlando Magic.
Oh boy, here we go.
So
more Magic.
I don't know if you can see a theme here, but my thought is, the Magic front office, they're looking at the Wizards and they're saying, why do they get wands and we don't?
Oh God.
so they do wands too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a lot of similarities between what the Wizards were doing.
Bigger whistle?
Mostly kind of like, some Disneyland stuff. Maybe it's not so Harry Potter, but
Harry Potter's Warner Brothers, right? And Disney and Warner Brothers are rivals.
Yeah.
So you can play that up. It could be like Fantasia versus Harry Potter.
I would really, really like for Orlando to just dive in to like Fantasia references. Maybe some notes for Otto.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt?
That's awesome.
Me? Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Let me grab another team here out of the air, and let's go New Orleans. Let's go down to Nolens.
Pellies. All right.
Yeah, the Pellies. Now, a lot of fun there, a lot of good music and stuff. Let's not get too crazy with it, but I do want like something brass. I think would be great. New Orleans themed. Like, it doesn't have to be a brass instrument, but like, because you don't want tubas going off during the game, or do you? Like everybody brings a tuba to the game, and like when the other teams shoot it, oh my God. Customized, yeah, they'd be pretty cool. And because $300 you can get a permit to do a parade in New Orleans, right? So anyone can do a parade and get a police escort. I feel like that should be brought into the celebrations, like for when they win a game.
They do a parade.
They do. There's like a big parade, and everyone can participate and like walk around on the main floor if you want to.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one. Memphis Grizzlies. Another team that is known for a big European, Marc Gasol, right? Iconic Memphis
I'm
Grizzly.
liking your angle.
Yeah, Marc Gasol. He's had a great 2019. Got to say, probably better than his 2018. Seems like. And, I think the Grizzlies should do Memphis Grizzlies branded Toronto Raptors Marc Gasol jerseys. So, it's a Toronto Raptors championship Marc Gasol jersey, but instead of Sun Life, it's just the Memphis Grizzlies logo, and they can celebrate. They can celebrate their iconic player actually winning something.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Both cool and layered, and also kind of like inherently an insult. But I think Memphis and Toronto, we share some stuff, like, obviously Vancouver, but there's kind of this like outsider aspect. And like, I thought it was really cool that when we won the championship, Memphis congratulated Mark. Like, I was like, this is great.
Yeah, it was classy. It was very classy.
It is class.
Well, I don't know if should we move on to Quickish Questions, or I don't know if do you have a couple more there, André?
I'm going to just, I'll lightning around a few more. One,
hit me up.
Lakers, well known for tampering. There is a device called the tamper, and it's for espresso. So when you make espresso and you tamp it down, so you do a Lakers branded espresso tamper because they're so good at tampering. The Brooklyn Nets, you get the noise canceling headphones to cancel out the haters, because it's Irving and Durant just the haters.
Actually, that one is like that's Beats by Dre. That's like that could happen.
It might happen. Knicks, you want to brand a paper bag because you gotta end up wearing it over your head.
Oh man.
Let's see what else do I got here. The Thunder, they should brand a toilet so that when you have to go to the toilet, you say it's Thunder time.
It's Thunder time.
Andre.
Wow.
It's getting good. Like, we you have to throw in a tagline. Explain it. I'm in.
I think the Spurs should do branded European tours. Just very on brand for them. The Celtics should brand a loaf of bread. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. That's just, you're a real one, Yeah. And we'll go with the last one. If you are with the Bucks, you should do a branded lunch bag because Giannis is going to eat your lunch. Oh, that's very good. Okay, I actually had a Bucks one too. Oh, nice. I was thinking, now, I wonder if my geography is just fully off. Oh, I think it's a ruined joke. Sorry, guys. Basically, I was going to do a link, but they're not in the same state, are they? Green Bay is in Wisconsin. Right. It's close. It's nearby. It's close. I was saying they could do like the thing where they also have cheese heads, but then because it's kind of like a Harley Davidson thing too, they all have like assless chaps too. Wow. Wow. The audience is like assless chaps, but like cheese. Wow. So that's what I'm saying. But that's good. I got my geography wrong, so jeez. No, it's pretty good. No, it's pretty good. I like that. Oh my god. Well done. Cool. Let's see. Matt, you got any more? Or
I think we're ready for a little
Quickish Questions.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, Andre. You know what's up? Matt loves it when I say it, so I'll say it again. No phoning a friend. You gotta answer as quick as you possibly can. I'll stammer through these questions. Are you ready? I'm ready. Okay. Paul George used to date Doc Rivers' daughter before he was allegedly caught cheating on her with a stripper. Will this alleged incident come back to haunt the Clippers? And if so, how? Wow. I did not know that. I didn't know that. I did some following up. Apparently it's true. I mean, however you want to answer this is okay. Yeah. Well, I think that Doc Rivers is going to figure out a epic diss for the cheater and will embarrass him on the biggest stage of his career. So I predict an NBA Finals diss from Doc Rivers towards Paul George. Okay, that's the best answer ever. Like a diss? Yeah. He's like, you just got Jamie XX'd. Okay, wow. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Are the Raptors going to be a trendsetter with their box +1 defense? I thought about this after seeing the pic of Steph Curry wearing a box +1 respect the game hoodie. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, for sure, they're a trendsetter. Sounds good. I don't understand why he's so salty about that. Hell yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's salty or if it's like, yeah, I'm not even sure why that got as much momentum as it did. I think it's just maybe he didn't really deal well with being stopped. Is my, And it's also like, anyways, he gets questions. Yeah. This one is for both of you because I know it's especially for Matt, but wow. Andre, I'm curious as well. So Andre, I'll start with you. Have you seen Space Jam? Yes.
Okay, Matt, have you seen Space Jam?
Still making my way through it. Haven't gone back to it since I started it 4 or 5 months ago.
Okie doke. At least you're being honest.
I'm getting there.
Andre, the follow-up to that question is, have you seen Space Jam 2?
No, I haven't.
That one I have seen. No, I haven't seen it.
And Matt, yeah, come on. You haven't seen that either, have you?
Should I watch that first and make my way back?
I don't know, but it's a weird question to end the pod on, but we got to do what we got to do, right? Sometimes you need a riddle.
Fun fact, Space Jam was the first date I ever went on.
Wow.
Whoa.
There you go.
That's awesome. My first date was also a movie. It was, I think it was Snow Day.
Snow Day.
Snow Jam.
Wow. No, yeah, Snow Day was a movie.
I think it was Snow Day.
Was Billy Bob Thornton in
Snow
it?
Jam was Snow Jam was a concert at series, I think.
Snow Jam.
Or was it?
Dropkick Murphys.
I think it was called Snow Job.
Oh, it was Snow Job. Yes. Nice one. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Snow Job. 1988. Not 1988. Okay. Well, anyways, Andre, you're amazing. Thanks so much for doing this pod.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, if people want to check you out, they want to help your cause, what can they do? Where should they go?
Follow me on Twitter, André de Pape, at André de Pape, and I'm available for any branding and marketing stunts that you might need. I've got all the ideas.
You really do. Sweet, man. Well, yeah, thanks for doing the pod. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Can anyone around here speak basketball?
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.